Hopefully
it's being recorded.
There we go.
Continue.
Hi guys, welcome to the call. Thanks for joining us. Just in case you don't know me, I am Lisa Huey, Michael's better half. He is currently sitting on a plane heading to Denver speaking at a conference. So I've got the privilege and responsibility of tonight's call. And actually it kind of works out pretty well in all honesty, because I haven't been able to do any of the deeper personal development kind of stuff that I was doing before, with emotions and healing and thoughts and, mindset management and that kind of thing. So it kind of works out because that's what I have planned, because I've had something that on my heart that I've wanted to kind of speak about and teach a little bit. And so it works. So I hope everybody is doing well. Let me share my screen, desktop, and then I'm going to come over. Whoops, I can minimize that. Sorry, I do have a habit of thinking out loud. Present.
Me too. Sorry, I'm late.
That's all right.
That's okay. Lisa's a little bit late. And Lisa, you never, ever, ever have to apologize to us. Right, Mike? Mike's shaking his head, yes. Your Mike wouldn't say that, but we would say that.
Actually, he would too, to be honest.
Oh, actually, this is being recorded. I didn't say that, Mike. Mike Huey, I did not say that.
All right. So the topic that I kind of want to dive into a little bit is about ants. Not A.U.N.T.s, but A.N.T.s. And it's an acronym about automatic negative thoughts. And I don't know about everybody else, but I'm sure more than just me can relate with these automatic negative thoughts. Something happens and we go down that negative bunny trail, or the hamster wheel, a negative hamster wheel. Exactly. So I've been reading this book as part of my 75 Hard, which, by the way, Mike, yesterday was my last day. But I am going to restart it, I think, on Monday, since my husband's going to be restarting it. But I'm not.
I bet you feel great from doing it, right?
Oh my gosh, I know. I'm like somewhat anxious because I didn't get to the gym today, and I'm like, after this call, I'm going for a walk. I'm not going to do 2 a day between now and Monday, but I'm going to do at least 1 a day between now and then, and kind of match your record in a way.
You got some catching up to do. Today was 160 for me.
I know. But for me, it's not going to the gym every day. It's at least working out every day.
Doing something, some form of exercise.
So anyway, sorry, little side note there. Automatic negative thoughts. Well, as part of the 75 Hard is 10 pages of reading nonfiction a day. And so one of the books that I've been reading is Dr. Daniel Amen's book. And I should have put a picture of the cover of his book, but it is Change Your Mind, or Change Your Brain, hold on, let me look it up. Change Your Brain, Change Your Life. So that's what this teaching is directly from. So I did put the credit right here on the first little slide, Amen Daniel. Oh, there it is. Change your brain, change your life. Anyways, so I'm just going to kind of explain what he says is these automatic negative thoughts. He coined the term in the early 90s after a hard day at the office, where he had several difficult sessions with suicidal patients, teenagers in turmoil, married couple hating each other. He got home that evening, found thousands of ants in his kitchen. It was gross. As he started to clean them up, the acronym came to him. I thought of my patients from that day like my infested kitchen. My patients' brains were infested by the negative thoughts that were robbing them of their joy and stealing their happiness. The next day, I brought a can of ant spray to work as a visual aid and have been working diligently ever since to help his patients eradicate their ants in the brain. So every time we have a thought, our brain releases chemicals, okay? And so whether that thought is good or bad, so to speak, it's going to release some kind of chemical reaction, an electrical transmission that goes across the brain, and we become aware of what we're thinking and that those thoughts are real and they have a direct impact on how we feel and behave. A mad thought, an unkind thought, a sad thought, or a cranky thought. Our brain will release negative chemicals that activate the limbic system, and it makes our mind and body feel bad. Just think about the last time you were mad. How did you feel physically? You know, get tense, blood pressure raises, face turns red, things like that. But when most people are mad, their muscles get tense, their heartbeat starts faster, hands begin to sweat, maybe feel a little dizzy. Now that's mad to the extreme. And I've seen people do that actually, get so angry and mad, their blood pressure goes through the roof and they actually passed out. I've witnessed it. Not good. So it's our body reacting to every negative thought we have. But on the contrary, those good thoughts, happy thoughts, hopeful or kind thoughts, our brain will release chemicals that makes our body feel good. And think about the last time you really had happy thoughts, like when you were on a great date or you cuddled a child, got a hug, things like that. What'd you feel inside your body? Most people are happy, their muscles are more relaxed, heartbeat and breath starts to slow down. The body again is reacting to those thoughts in a very opposite way. Thoughts are very powerful, right? They can make our mind and body feel good or bad. Every cell in our body is affected by the thoughts that we have. And that's why when people get emotionally upset, they develop those physical symptoms such as headaches, stomach aches. I can share an example from my cousin's wife. When she gets stressed, she immediately almost starts to have that migraine, starts to have acid reflux. My mom, she's somebody, when she gets anxious and stressed out or gets mad, she literally breaks out in hives on her body. I'm sure you guys know people, if not maybe even yourself, that has that kind of a reaction. But if you can think about the good things, you feel better. All that kind of resolves. And he just used a little story about Abraham Lincoln, that he had periods of bad depression well into his adulthood, and that he even thought about suicide many times, and he couldn't get out of bed. He was our country's president, you know? Later in life, he learned how to treat those feelings with laughter, though. And that's part of what this goal for this teaching is to be able to retrain our brains, our thoughts, etc. And that he became a very good storyteller telling jokes. And he learned that when he laughed, he felt better. So that was his way of dealing with those angry emotions and thoughts. Your automatic thoughts don't always tell you the truth. You know, thoughts lie. We put our own perceptions on some of our situations and we come up with these thoughts about it. So in the book, he talks about a boy that he knew who thought he was stupid because he didn't do well on tests. Those are the stories we tell ourselves, right? Going back to my personal, as a little girl, I had this story in my mind that if I was a bad girl, I'd be sent away. Nobody ever said anything like that. It was a thought that I gave myself, or I heard something out of what I felt that, as you know, that I've shared before, I do have an older sister. She wasn't exactly sent away, but we were separated, And so those were the thoughts. That was a lie, obviously. So you don't have to believe every thought that goes through your head. When they tested this young boy, they discovered his IQ was close to genius level. He just was a poor test taker. So it's important to think about your thoughts and to see if they help you or hurt you. Unfortunately, too many of us don't even challenge our thoughts. We just accept our thoughts as truth, and they're not. Those negative thoughts invade our mind like ants at a picnic or Dr. Amen's kitchen. To be positive or hopeful, or just allow them to be negative and upset you. So we're talking about training our thoughts now. Once we learn about the thoughts, you can choose to think good thoughts and feel good, or you can choose to think those bad thoughts and feel lousy. It's up to us. It's totally up to us. Research has shown that positive emotions, especially a sense of awe, can actually reduce inflammation. Talk about a biohacking tip, right? Reducing the inflammation by just focusing on those positive emotions, sense of happiness, joy, awe, etc. You can learn how to change your thoughts, and you can learn how to change the way you feel. I'm sure I'll probably butcher this. Someone can help me if they remember it beautifully, but how does it go? Was it thoughts become feelings, feelings become actions, actions become habits, habits then basically become who we are. How does that go? Does anybody know that off the top of their head? Maybe someone can look it up to get it. But that's exactly what it is.
Sherry, can you look it up? But I don't think you butchered it anyway. That's
it's pretty close to that.
That's the point.
Yeah, that's true. So it's up to us. Okay. And once we learn how to change those thoughts, or one way rather, to learn how to change our thoughts is to notice them when they're negative and talk back to them. So everybody that said, stop talking back to yourself, stop talking to yourself, they're wrong. They're wrong. We're talking to those negative thoughts, trying to take them into control, making them come into the submission of God's word, really, capture that thought. If you can correct those negative thoughts, you take away their power over us. When we just think a negative thought without challenging it, our mind believes it, and then our bodies react to it. I heard one time about breast cancer and different types of cancers, but this specific thing I was listening to on the radio one time, and I really wish I could remember the source of it so I could try to validate it. But they were talking about women with breast cancer, and that there was a direct correlation, not every time, but highly correlated, or a lot of times, that it had to do with feelings towards their parents. And it even went as far as to saying, and I don't remember which was which, but if it was the left breast, I'll just use the example, it was that relationship with the father. If it was the right breast, it was that relationship with the mother type of a thing. Again, it could be the other way, I don't remember. But I thought it was rather interesting. And I worked with a young woman when I was in the CVOR back in Chicago. And no, that was here in Florida, never mind. But anyways, it was a young woman, late 20s, early 30s only, and she had breast cancer. And she always talked about how much she loved her dad and how much she just despised her mother. She hated her mom. Her mother ruined her relationship with her father, her mother this, her mother that. She could not forgive her mother. And it was at the same time that I heard about this study. So it just really kind of stuck with me. It correlated. Ah, yes. Go ahead and read it.
Thought or beliefs and thoughts become feelings, feelings become actions, actions become results, and then it goes back in the circle.
That's it. Yep. And then it eventually becomes our personalities, or our behavior patterns, our characteristics, which we can control and change. Thank you. So anyways, I just thought it was rather interesting how, they were talking about this particular study that correlated breast cancer with unforgiveness and feelings of animosity and bitterness toward a parent. And then I knew somebody that unfortunately was the case for her. Not that I'm saying that that's why she had her cancer, but it kind of paired up with it. All right, dun, 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 dun. Next page. So learn how to change your thoughts. Notice them when they're negative, talk back to them. Correcting the negative thoughts, you take away their power. I should have said that. Ants pop up in your brain automatically, seemingly out of nowhere. When left unchallenged, they bite, nibble, torture, infest our minds. When the ants are left unchecked, they steal our happiness and literally make us feel old, fat, depressed, and feeble-minded. And mind you, all of this is directly quoted. I literally copied and pasted it from my Kindle book, okay? And obviously I kind of double pasted something, but that's okay. Learning how not to believe every stupid thought you have is a critical skill to ending that unnecessary suffering. Whenever we notice these automatic negative thoughts or ants, we must just crush them. One way to crush the ants, and I thought this was a pretty good exercise, and hopefully this can be a good takeaway for people to either utilize themselves or share with others, but write down those negative thoughts and talk back to it. For example, if you think other people are going to laugh at you when you speak, write it down and then write the positive response. Something like, others might find it interesting. Doing this takes away the power of that thought and it'll help you feel better. And some people say that they have trouble talking back to those thoughts because they feel like they're lying to themselves. Whoops. Let's let in admit. There we go. Oh yeah, Carly, you typed it out there too. Thank you. I just saw that.
And I was doing it. I just saw it.
That's okay, no biggie. It kind of got in my field of vision. So anyways, some people say they struggle talking back to the thoughts because they feel like they're lying to themselves, but they believe that that thought that goes through their mind first is truth then. So remember, our thoughts sometimes lie to us. So it's important to check them out before just believing them. You know, it goes back to that little boy who thought he was stupid when in all actuality, he practically has a genius IQ. So he broke it down into 9 different ants that lie to us. The all or nothing thinking, the always thinking, a red ant, meaning it's more poisonous, focusing on the negative, fortune telling ants, mind reading, thinking with your feelings, guilt beatings, labeling, and then the 9th one is the most poisonous of all, the blaming ant. And so I'll kind of break it down a little bit here from what he did with our book. The first ant, the all or nothing. It's like, talk about the extremes, right? It's all or it's nothing. Those thoughts happen when we make something out to be either all good or all bad. And there's no in between. Everything is black and white. If the baseball player strikes out, he may think he's the worst player ever, rather than thinking to himself, the best baseball players make an out 7 times out of 10, right? Next time will be better. That's that all or nothing. The ant number 2 is that always thinking. It happens when you think something will always repeat itself. And I don't know if you've heard me say this before, but I'm kind of like never say always, and never say never, never say always, because that's the case, right? I'll say most of the time, but rarely will I say always or never. For example, if your wife is irritable and or husband and gets upset with you, you might think to yourself, he or she is always yelling at me. Even though they may yell only once in a while, but it's just the thought that she's always yelling at me is so negative, it makes you feel sad and upset. So whenever you think in words like always, never, no one, everyone, every time, everything, you're falling prey into that always thinking ant, which usually isn't accurate. And there's many examples of always thinking, no one will ever call me. Everyone's always picking on me at work. Everyone's going to say no when I present the opportunity for LifeVantage. They don't want to listen. Nobody wants to listen. That's not true. Some people do. And it's a very popular or common ant. The third one, which is like a red ant, which is one that, he says is focusing on the negative, and it's a little bit more poisonous, so to speak. It occurs when your thoughts only see the bad in the situation, ignoring any of the good that might happen. For example, let's say you've got a presentation at work. Most of your coworkers told you you did a great job, but you've noticed one fell asleep during the call. And now all you can think about was how boring it must have been. If you want to keep your mind healthy, it's very important to focus on the good parts of your life more than the bad. That's a powerful thing. Look to the positive much more than the bad. He shares that he once helped a child who was depressed, and in the beginning, he could only think about the bad things that happened to him. Recently moved and told him that he would never make new friends, even though he already had several. He thought he'd do poorly in his new school, even though he got mostly good grades, and that he would never have any fun, even though his new house was near a bay and an amusement park. Talk about opportunity there, right? For this kid, sounds great to me. By focusing on the negative in the new situation, he was making it hard for himself to adjust. He would have been much better off if he just looked at all the positives in the situation rather than those negatives. After 3 weeks of ant therapy, the kid told him, "It's an ant ghost town in my house." I thought that was cute. Number 4, another red or more poisonous ant is the fortune-telling ant.
Lisa, can I ask a question about that, or is it after? Yeah. The child, when he was thinking that surprises me. Would he have just automatically thought those things by himself, especially as a child, or would have somebody put those thoughts in his mind?
It could have been his environment. You know, if he's surrounded by people who are typically negative, thinking the worst case scenario, he can definitely. Some of it is, you know, just lies that, you know, enemy whispers.
Can I interact?
Sure.
Okay, for what I've been learning about the mind-brain-body connection is, since we are in our mother's womb until especially we are 7 years old, we are in a theta state in our mind. So everything that comes to our mind, it becomes reality. We don't have the capacity to differentiate between this is good or this is bad. So whatever our parents, our members, whoever is around us speak, it becomes reality. And that's what it gets coded in our mind. So when like in the case of the kid, lo más for sure, because the kids imitate what they see around, what they grab. Okay, that person doesn't like me, or maybe that person wasn't in a good mood that day, and the boy want to show him something and reject it. I was like, I've been rejected. That's the messages that the boy hears. But most of the time, actually everybody that I have heard, they said like, we are coded when we are until we are around 7 years old. So our experiences as a child affects exactly those thoughts that we have about ourselves and about the people around us. So now that we are adults, we can differentiate between the good and the bad. And we can take our mind, take our thoughts and change them when I especially because of the way that I grew up, I will judge myself and I will judge other people. So I'm making a purpose to don't do that and to think like positive about myself and positive about other people, and repeat good things about myself that people tells me, but I don't believe because I didn't believe before. So I just want, I can go on and on, but that's mostly what happened. We are coded when we were a child. Even before, when we are in our mother's womb, that's what is happening. Because God created us pure, wonderful creatures, human beings, but where we are born, the culture, society, religion, everything influence in our lives, everything.
Yep. Thank you. And that's kind of like me, you know, as that toddler, just not knowing and believing that, you know, I'd be sent away. That wasn't anywhere near truth, but that was something that, because of what was going on and not being able to really understand things, was the lie I kind of told myself. So thank you, amiga. The fortune-telling ant. This is where you predict the worst possible outcome in a situation. For example, say you just started a vacation and the hotel had trouble checking you in. You immediately go down that road that it's a sign that everything else is going to go wrong on your vacation. The first negative thing that happens puts you into a depression or a downward spiral. I know a couple of people that are like that, and it's like, stop. My cousin is kind of in that position right now, and I'm like, just stop it. Another red or more dangerous type of an ant is the mind reading ant. And this kind of goes right with that fortune telling ant for me. It's where you predict the worst possible outcome in a situation. For example, you just started the vacation. Wait a minute, did I just put the same thing? Oh man. I flipped, what the heck? 8, 9. I guess I got these out of order. I went the wrong way.
When you were reading that, when you were saying that ant one, I wasn't reading that. So I thought you were just saying that. So Lisa, don't worry about it.
Okay, I just kind of lost my, let me see.
I'm not wrong to say don't worry about it, right, guys?
No, but still.
Look, Mike's shaking his head.
Thinking with your feelings. Okay, that's great. Okay, number 5 and number 6. All right, I'm not sure what happened there, but let me get this back up. And somehow I managed to change the screen and everything. Only me. Number 6, ant, was thinking with your feelings. This occurs when you believe those negative feelings without questioning them. Feelings are complex, as already mentioned. They sometimes lie to you, but many people believe their feelings even if there's no evidence for them. Thinking with your feelings, thoughts usually start with the words, I feel. Example, I feel you don't love me. I feel stupid. I feel like a failure. I feel no one will trust me. Whether you have a strong negative feeling, whenever you have a strong negative feeling, check it out. Look for the evidence behind that feeling. Do you have real reasons to feel that way? Or are you just feeling it based on the events, insecurities, or things from the past? And I thought for me, that was a very, very powerful statement. Those feelings, we base them sometimes on our own insecurities, our own things from the past. Number 7, the guilt-bearing beatings. Guilt is typically not a helpful emotion. And in fact, guilt often causes you to do things that you don't want to do. Guilt beatings happen when you think with words like should, must, ought, or have to. Some examples. I must never lie. I ought to call my grandmother. I have to pay my bills. Because of human nature, whenever we think that we must do something, no matter what it is, we just don't do it. We won't do it. Going back to the story of Adam and Eve, the only restriction that God put on them when he gave them the Garden of Eden was that they shouldn't eat from the tree of knowledge. Almost immediately after God told them what they shouldn't do, they started wondering why they shouldn't do it. Well, you know the rest of the story. It's better to replace guilt beatings with phrases like, I want to do this. It fits my goals to do that. It would be helpful to do this, etc. So in the examples above, it would be more productive to rephrase those thoughts to, it's helpful for me not to lie because people will trust me. I want to call my grandmother. It's in my best interest to pay my bills. And then the labeling ant. Whenever you attach a negative label to yourself or to someone else, You inhibit your ability to take a clear look at the situation. Some examples he listed was of negative labels like nerd, jerk, idiot, spoiled brat, clown. Negative labels are very harmful. Not to mention, our words have such power and carry such weight. Whenever you call yourself or call somebody else a spoiled brat or an idiot, you're labeling them, you're lumping them into your mind with all of the spoiled brats or idiots that you've ever known. You become unable to deal with that person or yourself in a reasonable way. Stay away from those negative labels, whether it's for yourself or for others. And then the last but most poisonous red ant is the blaming ant. I'm sure we all know quite a few people who tend to blame instead of taking PR, personal responsibility, where you blame others for the problems of your life. Typically you hear things or yourself or others thinking or saying, it wasn't my fault. That wouldn't have happened if you did this, or it wouldn't have happened if I did that, kind of a thing. How was I supposed to know? You know, blaming others. My husband shares the story about how he lost a lot of money. And he says, I shouldn't have allowed, not me. I'm quoting him. He takes the responsibility. You know, he's like, I should never have allowed that situation to happen in the first place. It could have been very easy to be like, well, I didn't know, or, you know, this guy was recommended, you know, we got screwed. Yeah, he kind of says that, and yeah, we kind of did, but he still takes the responsibility and says that, you know, he shouldn't have allowed that situation to happen, as opposed to just blaming others. Now, hopefully you can see this, because these are some of the ant sprays, so to speak, examples and ways to kill those ants. Training ourselves to recognize the ants first and foremost. Whenever one enters your mind, write it down. Then again, like I said before, when you write down that ant, you talk back to them, begin to take away their power and gain control. So he kind of classifies all of these ants, you know, based on the thoughts. There's nothing to do. That thought is an all or nothing ant. You kill it by saying there's probably lots of things to do if I think about it for a while. You know, the little boy who moved to a new place and the amusement park was right there, but he was saying, you know, he wouldn't have friends and there was nothing to do. That's a all or nothing ant. The thought of no one will ever want to date me, that species of ants is the always thinking. Its ant spray would be, well, that's silly. Be patient, put myself in situations where I can meet people, you know? Or the thought of the boss doesn't like me. It's mind reading. We're assuming what the other person is thinking. We're trying to read their minds. To kill it, I don't know that. Maybe she's just having a bad day. Bosses are people too. The I'm stupid or you're stupid ant. Labeling ants is the category. And sometimes I do things that aren't too smart, but I'm not stupid. And if you've heard me speak before, you know, that is like something that's one of my pet peeves, so to speak, as well. The person is not their actions. You know, you can make a bad decision. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. Good people make wrong choices. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. My little soapbox on that, sorry. And then the thought of it's my wife's fault or it's my husband's fault. That's the blaming ant. We need to look to counter it, to take away its power. I have to say something to myself like, I need to look at my part and my part of the responsibility for the problem. Look at ways that I can make the situation better. And so that is kind of that. Let me stop sharing for a moment before I move on to anything else. What time is it? Okay, good. Any kind of questions, comments, insights? Anybody want to share any personal examples of anything that might have spoke to them with what I just went over?
One question when
Hey, Lisa.
Sorry. Oh, wait.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Dr. Phil.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm waiting. You go ahead. Whoever that was, I can't
Tracy.
see. I couldn't connect by video, so I'm on phone.
Dr.
Okay.
Phil, you have the floor, sir. I'm here all the time. You have the floor.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. No, I got in a little bit late, so Lisa.
Let me introduce you. Time out. I don't think you were actually ever, or were you introduced before on our call?
No.
I didn't think so. So I wanted to introduce you. Dr. Phil Carson, not Dr. Phil from the TV crazy show. But Dr. Phil Carson is an amazing guy. He's a reformed pharmacist, so to speak, right? Medical pharmacist who's gone functional medicine, holistic care, nutrition. He's one of our newer members on our team with LifeVantage. He joined not that long ago, a little over a month ago-ish.
That's right.
Perfect. So if you don't mind, whatever you want to share just to give people a little insight as to who you are, and then you can take the floor with your comments, questions, and I know you've got a boatload of information you can share.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll be happy. Pharmacist is a title that I bought and paid for by going to school for many years, and something that put me on a path for a career in healthcare. That's just one aspect of my life. I'm also a husband to a beautiful wife, and I'm a father to 5 children, a grandfather to 3. I love people. I love helping people. I've always have, and I've served in a lot of different capacities as a youth pastor, as a volunteer for different organizations, and served on boards, and those kind of things. And all of those things that I said yes to and was doing in my life was almost killing me many years ago, with the stress that I was creating in my life because of everything I was trying to do, and not saying no to anybody. And also, I was telling somebody this earlier today, also thinking I was Superman and that I could do it all, and I could do it all by myself without any help. But I learned differently. God showed me that I was I needed Him more than I thought, and I needed to learn to say no, and needed to ask people to help me, I learned in the process of all that as well, something that would cure my health issues, digestive issues primarily that I was dealing with because of all the stress and because of poor eating. And I learned that it was natural therapies and natural medicine that was the answer to my problem, and not a handful of medication I was taking every day. And so that changed my life. It changed my trajectory as a pharmacist. And long story short, I started learning everything I could about natural therapies when I found one that cured me, and started sharing that with all my patients, and ended up to where I am today, outside of the pharmacy world. Pretty much, I still keep my license, and I still stay on top of everything as much as I can. But I coach people and inspire people to take better care of themselves, to take charge of their own health, not depend on medication, not depend on the traditional medical system, but to look outside and look at all the other alternatives that are out there for us that can make a huge difference in our health and in our day-to-day lives. So that's my story in a nutshell, and I appreciate you letting me share that, Lisa. And I wanted to I wanted to say what you were talking about. I was a little late to the party tonight. I'd like to know the title of this book you were talking about. I've got a client that's a young boy with ADD and OCD that I think this book might be helpful for. And so text me that later on if you don't mind. I'd love to look at that and possibly share it with him and his parents. But one of the things that made me think of was something that a friend of mine has a mantra that he says all the time. It's a lie that he believes. And I've been thinking a lot lately about calling him on this because he said this about me. He said it about a lot of other people. And he always says in reference to dealing with people that he's dealing with and working with, how does he say it? The best predictor of the future is the past. And I want to tell him, no, that's a lie. The past is a predictor of the future only if you're dwelling there. And so many people are dwelling in their past, and it's controlling their future. And so that's a lie that a lot of people believe, is that their past is a predictor of their future and that they can't change that, but that's not true. So anyway, you made me think about that. Just wanted to share that. So thank you for allowing me to share.
I typed it in the chat. And I also sent you a picture of the book cover.
Okay. All right, good. Thank you.
Dr. Amen and Change Your Brain, Change Your Life. Do you want to do if you can, I'm not sure. I know last time I think Mike was going to try to get you on and have you talk a little bit about the epigenetics and some of the NRF2 or pathways and that kind of thing, or what do you think?
Well, I can talk a little bit about it. That's something that I've researched some, and I'm still researching. I'm still learning. But when I met Michael on Clubhouse 2 or 3 months ago, heard him talking about the NRF2 pathway. Then I said, I've heard this before somewhere. And so I started looking back, say, where did I hear this? How did I know about this NRF2 pathway? And I remembered that I had found some research in doing some brain health research I was doing for a brain wellness company I was working with in Nashville, and a brain wellness program that I helped put together up there and formulated some supplements for this company. And I remembered running across something about the NRF2 pathway in my research, and something that I filed away and said, I got to come back to this at some point. And because it was pretty fascinating what I was reading and learning. And one of the main articles I had found was one particular to Parkinson's. And because I was looking at all these things that could affect a person's brain health. And so that's how, things kind of circled back around, and got talking to Michael more about the NRF2 pathway and what he was sharing on Clubhouse, and said, this is something that I need to take a deeper dive into. And then listened to a podcast not long ago with a doctor that I highly respect that started a supplement company years ago that I've done business with for a long time. And he was talking about the NRF2 pathway and it being, how vital it was, and that we pay attention to this and activate this pathway for our longevity and our health. And so I'm excited to be working with LifeVantage and using the products and seeing what benefit they're going to provide for me, and also some of my clients that I've been working with, that I'm sharing it with now. And so it's something that I have no doubt is definitely going to be come to the forefront more in the area of health and longevity, because there's some really smart people, high profile people that are waking up to the importance of this pathway for our health and our longevity. And so I'm excited about that. So I'll turn it back to you. I've said enough.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that.
This is Tracy. Can I ask Dr. Phil a question?
Sure.
Dr. Phil, this is Tracy Shudo. I'm in Clubhouse. I've seen you in Clubhouse. I think you're a brilliant, smart man. And I run a room every Thursday on MS and health because I have multiple sclerosis. And in that room, and in that room, we share, everybody that comes to the room shares their stories and shares what they've done or what they are doing to help with their health. And there's 2 of us in there currently that take NRF2. Now, my question to you is we're not there to sell NRF2. We're there to share the information on NRF2. And I wanted to ask you, would I get more people interested if I say I'm helping regulate my NRF2 pathway? Or is it okay that I'm saying I'm taking something that's called NRF2 and it's helping me feel better and it's helping me with my mobility and stuff? What do you think would interest people more in the wordage? Thank you very much. I'm complete and I'm Tracy.
Yeah. I think the latter of what you just said, because I don't know that people understand that what you're doing, you're taking something that's helping you. As far as regulating the pathway, a lot of people are not going to connect with that. They'll connect with your story, but they're not going to connect with the science unless they have a scientific mind and
benefits
they
over
understand
science.
that.
Okay, thank you benefits over science, Lisa said, Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I really, really appreciate it. And somebody else is laughing out loud at me. Laugh out loud at yourself, Stacy.
No, actually, that was about me when I said I put the name of the book in the chat. Apparently, it was clicked to everyone in waiting room. And so you guys didn't get the name of the book at all.
So he was laughing out loud at you.
That's what it was.
Me.
Yes, he was laughing at me.
Yep.
So Dr. Phil wouldn't have got it because he's not in the waiting room either.
Exactly.
It's there now, though.
Nope.
The name of the book is there.
We've got about 10 minutes left, and I do want to kind of go over. Jess, are you at a point where you'll be able to jump on and speak in a few?
Yeah, I should be able to. It's a little loud where I'm at, but I can walk away for a second. So just let me know when I'm on.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to kind of go over the month of action challenge right now. And so for this month of June, as you know, they've got this challenge going on, and it's a team effort type of a thing. I know Mike kind of went over it a bit last week. So I was just going to go over it again real briefly. We got a video that was shared with us on one of the easiest way within the app to do it, and how about earning points. So we earn points to get prizes, obviously, rewards, and we get points by registering for the July Elite Academy, registering for the June LVA LifeVantage Academy, and registering for Global Convention. Right there, if you did all 3 of those, that's 15 points already. And then we get points for using the ITT, or doing the ITT, Invite Tool Team Actions. You get a point for just inviting a person, and you get 2 points if you send them the tool, whether it's the videos, the PowerPoint, whatever. And then you get 3 points if you conduct a team call with the prospect. And what the points are going to be adding up for.
Lisa, yes? I'm reading this and it says use the app.
Yes.
No, the last one. for the team one. Use
Oh,
the
using
app.
the app, conduct a team call with the
Yeah,
plus.
so can you clarify that? Because if I'm doing a team call, if I'm doing a third party call, I can call somebody and I can call you and we can get on a call.
Right.
So
the video I think that I'm going to be showing helps to get through that part.
okay. And just to let you guys all know, and maybe it's on the video, but I called the head office today and I asked them to earn all those points. Does the person actually have to buy product? And I was told no.
Exactly. You get points just for the actions.
Yeah.
And that's part of what I'll go over, and so will the little video. I mean, just by entering somebody's name in the app, you automatically get 1 point. Just by putting their name in and their contact info in the app. That's 1 point for you right there. So you've got 100 people, 100 names in the app, and you got 100 points.
It's not about just typing a name. You have to send the first tool. You got to send the first tool, and that gives you your invite. And then the second tool is the second learn video. That's what gives you your tool point. Now, when they watch it, that's what makes them part of your team.
Cool.
And the app is always recognized when they've opened up and watched. It always has.
Yes. Yes. Because I sent 2 videos today and I got the little card notification saying that so-and-so watched the first video. So then I need to send the second one. So anyways, the rewards, what we're earning points for. 250 points gets a $50 gift card for the swag store. You know, not product, but swag. 500 points will get a 250 gift card, and 1,000 points gets a $500 gift card. And then the top 3 teams in earning points gets a trip to Salt Lake City the week of the July at EA to be able to participate and watch the event live from the corporate office, hotel and flights provided. Getting started is organizing your team. I know we kind of already did this. Jess can kind of go through that again if necessary, but this is literally on the bottom of the LifeVantage website. You don't even have to log into your back office. And these pictures are literally right there. So I don't really want to spend too much time on this part of it. It starts at the beginning of the month, ends at the end of the month, create the team, put in your team member IDs, etc. Tracking progress, same type of thing. Click on the leaderboard within the app, look at the details, and it'll show you the leaders and stuff. What I do want to go ahead and jump over to this tab is play the video that he had gotten for us. So hopefully I've got my volume turned up. I think this is up, so hopefully you should be able to hear it. Julia, I see your face, or Dave, I see your faces. Give me a thumbs up and let me know that the video is sounding well when I start, okay? Please and thank you.
So basically, when you get into the app, you go to add someone. I'm just gonna pick a random, so this will be fun. Let's see. Click first, and then you click next. Yes, that right there gets you 1 point just for putting them in. So that counts as your invite. From there, you can either do already did this step, or you can send out the first reach out message. It just really depends on what direction you're going. I'm going to do this because this girl was actually on my team before. So, and then I'm going to send her whatever video I want to send her. And let's just say I want to send her the new product video.
I'm going to pause that right there. If you saw, it said send first touch video. You can just click that button and it'll send that video. You don't have to go through the whole media thing, okay?
And then I would text that over to her. And then it doesn't go to tool until you get to this next step. So you either have to say that she's watched it, which will make her go to tool, or you could just update their interest level, or if you want to follow up, obviously go through the system. But if you hit continue, now she's tool.
And see where it says send second video? If you just click that, it'll automatically send that longer video, or you can click on the share the other tools and it'll open up that whole media section.
If I wanted to make her team, that would happen once I either share a cart with her, share an enrollment link with her, or update their interest level to ready to purchase or ready to enroll. That would change her to a team. So basically.
All right. So that was from Erica Dale, actually. She did the video and sent it to him for us to share on our call. Jess, if you want to go ahead and kind of wrap it up regarding this, since you're technically our team leader.
All right, so I believe I got 52 points. It was very, very simple. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, so the whole point is everybody's got to get 200 points. And you can only, like when I set up our team, you know, the highest goal is 1,000 points, 200 per everyone. And when you check the share the first learn video or the first watch video, it does not send automatically. I don't know why it's saying that, but you have to scroll up and you have to push continue. And then what it does is it takes you from the app to the text messaging and you press send. Now there's a way that you can get around to get the tool without them watching the video. And how to do that is you go back and you press, they have already watched this video. And in a way you can share two videos at the same time. Like when they get to the second video, you know, that can count as a second tool, I believe. Now, how I did it was I went through my contacts, and it's literally so easy to import your contacts into the app. You literally can go right on your leaderboard, and it says right under your chart, it says add prospect. Now it says manually or you do it through your contacts. So I do mine through my contacts. It's the first list I went through, and literally it pulls up your contacts on your phone and you push it. And then it brings up the share the first learn video, and you press send, boom, you got a point. And then you can go back right at the same time and say they've already watched it. And you can press share the second learning tool, and you go down and you send that, and then you have your tool. Now, when they watch the video, it adds them to the team, and it shows right in your app that it says team. So that's an extra 2 points per person. And then registering for the events. I haven't even registered for any of the events yet. And I already have, I believe it's 52 points. So it's very simple. Social media sharing is not part of it. So you literally have to either have their email address or their phone number. And it is very, very simple. It's all mapped out for you right on the app. So my team we're in the very last place right now. And it's kind of, you know, I want to be at the top. Everything takes time, but we have an entire month. You know, they have a dream team on there filled with Pro 7s, Pro 8s, Pro 10s. So it's just all about the footwork that you got to put in for it, you know, and you can do it right from your phone. So it's not that hard. And I believe everybody can do it, and everybody just doing it is getting you more recognition. It's getting you more customers. It's getting the great word out there about NRF2. And whether they want it or not, you know, you're still getting the info out there. So I think it's a wonderful thing. It's a great contest just to get you more educated on it and to get your contacts more educated on it. And I think it's a great thing. And I'm going to stick to it and at least get my 200 points because I want my swag bucks at least. And I'm done speaking. It's getting pretty loud out here. I came out to this river place with my son. So there's just a few tips. If anybody has any questions, just message me. You can message me through the app. You can send me an email, messenger on Facebook, anything works. So if anybody needs any help, just let me know. I'm done speaking. I got to get back to my son now.
All right. Thank you so much for taking that time.
Yeah, no problem. Like I said, if anybody needs anything, just get a hold of me. I'm here. And
our team as a whole has 89 points right now.
Yep, and I got 52 of them, so I'm trying to motivate everybody. You can send motivating messages, and
yep.
But everybody have a beautiful evening, and like I said, if you need anything, just get a hold of me.
All right,
Lisa, just to let you know again, when I phoned, because we're in the process of making a team, I was told that, because I asked 3 questions. I asked if you were on a team and then decided to change a team to a different team, would those points that you've accumulated move to your new team? And I was told yes, because those teams are attached to your distributor number. I also asked if I haven't built a team yet as of today, and I already have people to start to put into the app, will that information count once my team is made? And I was told yes. And
it does. Yep.
Yeah,
it does. They did it for mine. I had all my teammates get added. So this was 2 months ago, I had teammates, so it got added right to it.
Okay. And then I also asked to collect, and it didn't sound like what it said in the video, but I asked to get the final 3 points, do they have to purchase? And I was told no, but the video you just showed, I heard her say that they had to be buying a product. Did I hear that wrong, Jess?
I believe it's to get the 3 points for that last step. You still get the point for the first, you get the points for the second, because if you remember, it's first step is 1 point, second step is 2 points, third step is 3 points. You'll still get points 1 and 2, but you won't get those 3 points.
But when I phoned the office and they went and they asked a supervisor, the supervisor said they do not have to purchase anything.
They do not have to purchase anything at all. No purchasing is included in this contest. I've done my research on it.
Yep.
And
Thanks,
the way
Jess.
that you get them as the team is to literally get them to watch the tool. That is how they become on your team in the app. Like they don't have to buy anything. You don't have to send any carts. It's all about the informational videos.
Yep.
So Jess, for the team, are you sending them a success video? Or are you sending them the company video about what it's like to join the company?
Literally, all I have done is I've sent 2 videos, and when they watch the first or second video, they become part of my team, and they are in the red, which is part of your team. Now, I'm not talking about the team members on the contest. This is your team in your app. And they didn't have to purchase anything. All they had to do was watch one of the videos. So I included in my text message my own script that said, this is for a contest I'm trying to win. Can you please watch the video that they can tell if you've watched it? Just my personal, to my personal friends and stuff. And they watched it and they got added as a team member.
Yep.
So it's all about watching the video.
Yeah, because if you look at the website, I just copy and pasted it from our website. Nowhere does it say points for purchase, product purchase.
Yeah, they don't have to purchase anything. It's all about registering for the conventions. That is the highest points that you can get. And then you can get 4 points. You get 2, or you get 1 for the invite, 1 for the tool. And I believe it's 2 or 3 if they become a team. So you send 2 videos, and if they watch them, then that's what adds them to your team. And that gets you your full points for the invite, the tool, and the team.
Yeah, it's like 1 point first step, second step is 2 points, third step is 3 points. It's 1, 2, 3.
You're correct. That's how I see it, and it's worked for me.
And that's how it's worded. It would say when they purchase, earn X number of points, and it does not say that at all.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything. Even if they do purchase, it does. I don't believe.
Yeah, you don't earn any extra points for it.
No, but that's great if you do. I think it's what it's all about too, is getting the word out there and get more people to use the app because it is so easy to use.
Yeah, and if they do purchase, that's how we get rewarded as well. The financial, the getting the word out, etc. All right, it is 9:36. I kept y'all a little too long. My apologies. Any last minute questions, shouts, comments, etc.? Otherwise, have an amazing evening, and I'm going for a walk.
I'm going to check out this beautiful sunset. Have a beautiful night, everyone. I'm out.
You did it great, my friend.
Thanks, Jess. Thanks, Julia.
Thank you.